Match number 31 in the Cricket World Cup will be taking place at the Rose Bowl in Southampton. That sees these two Asian teams pitted against each other. On the one hand, you have Afghanistan fresh from really taking India down to the wire in that game in the final over. And the other, you have Bangladesh still very much in contention and making the final four of the Cricket World Cup. I am joined in ESPN Cricinfo Matchday by Michael Hussey, sir. Thank you so much for joining us. And also Shahriar Nafees, who is joining us from Bangladesh. Shahriar, remaining 3 games for Bangladesh in the World Cup. It's pretty much a mini Asia Cup now. Afghanistan, there's India and there's Pakistan. I'm pretty sure the boys and of course the people back home would be pretty positive that you guys can get at least 2 wins out of 3 in this one.
Yes, people are optimistic. They are looking forward to these 3 matches because the World Cup, when Sri Lanka beat England, the World Cup became a very open tournament. You know, everybody was talking about that the World Cup has become so one-sided, like 4 teams going through, but suddenly all the teams came to life. Even Afghanistan, like the way they played. So it's a live tournament now, and everyone back home and in the team are looking forward to these 3 matches, because if you play well and play according to the plan and the situation, Bangladesh still has a massive chance to have a spot in the semi-finals.
That is right. Bangladesh still very much in contention to move into the last 4. Michael, for Afghanistan, no chance of making the top 4, but from an opponent's point of view, that makes them all the more little dangerous because they have nothing to lose for. They're still chasing that first elusive win.
Yeah, I think they'll be desperate for a win for their country, for their fans back home. Things haven't gone to plan in the first half of the tournament, but there were some really good signs against India. Wow, their spinners are bowling extremely well. They pushed arguably the favourite, if not the second favourite for this title, all the way to the end. And if a couple of little things had gone their way, they might have got over the line and caused the biggest upset going around. So the other advantage is they're playing on the same ground, so they'll know the conditions reasonably well, and they'll take a lot of confidence out of that game against India. So they've got to make sure they recover well and come out and put in another good performance against Bangladesh.
Yeah, before that game versus India, people were asking Michael, is Rohit Sharma going to score a double 100? Is India going to cross 400? And none of that happened. Cricket is a great leveler. Shahriar, I'll start with you as far as Bangladesh is concerned. Any changes to your 11 now?
You know, looking at the last match, I want to make probably 2 changes into the side. If Mossadegh is fit, he definitely comes in the place of Sabir. And for Afghanistan match only, I would like to see Saifuddin and Rubel both play. Afghanistan, you looked in last few matches, they are very comfortable against the spinners. All the problems were made by the fast bowler. So why not put Saifuddin and Rubel both into the side, give Mehdi Hassan Miraj a break for a while. So that will be my team for tomorrow.
Also, Shahriar, of course, the big positive for Bangladesh from this World Cup has to be their batting. And we'll show you a couple of numbers now as far as Bangladesh and the way they're striking the ball, especially someone like a Tamim Iqbal. Because if you look at Shakib Al Hasan, you look at Liton Das, you look at Soumya Sarkar, all of them are striking at above 100 or close to 90 plus. But Tamim in that aspect is a little behind because his strike rate in ODI since 2018 is 76.8. Now, we might be reading too much into those numbers because is that his role in this team then, to start slow?
Now, basically, for last few years, we have seen a lot of changes into the opening slot. If you look at the 3, 4, 5 years of Bangladesh cricket history, you will see at least 5 to 6 different players batting with Tamim. So immediately the role of Tamim changes. You know, every team wants a very good start and a very decent start, a positive start. So in that case, what happens is if their partners are changing all the time, then one has to take that role to stay there and play big. And Tamim has done so far. When Shomo is hitting cleanly, Sakib is hitting cleanly, you need someone to stay there and just make a partnership, be the anchor role, and Tamim is trying to do that at this moment, and hopefully he gets set and he can catches up later.
About on their bowling now, Shahriar also, because if you look at Bangladesh and their bowling performances, they've conceded a lot of runs in the World Cup. So in some sense, the bowling has not complemented the batting, and especially in the death overs now. If you look at some of the runs they've conceded in the death overs, Bangladesh and Afghanistan top two as far as conceding the maximum runs in overs 41 to 50 in this World Cup. Bangladesh conceding at an economy of 9.16. Afghanistan conceding at an economy of 9.16. Bangladesh conceding at 8.89. So in some sense, this stage, Shahriar, could decide really who would walk away as winners in that game tomorrow.
Tomorrow, this last 10 overs might decide the result of the game. If you look at both of the teams, Afghanistan probably has the best spin attack in this world at this moment. 3 different spinners, they're all different but very much effective. But I still believe the fast bowlers can play a big role tomorrow, and Bangladeshi fast bowlers, if they can bowl well and discipline in the last 10 overs, these last 10 overs can decide the match.
Mike, I'll take the same question to you because Afghanistan and Bangladesh are pretty close by in leaking runs in the last 10. You suppose he who is more miserly and more disciplined in that last 10 could make a big difference to the outcome of the game?
I look at it 2 ways. First of all, short answer is yes, who can be more miserly. But second of all, if you look at it a different way, whichever team can perhaps get more wickets through the middle overs might be able to slow down the opposition in the back end. So it just depends on which way they go. And so this is where I see Afghanistan possibly have a little edge. Because their spinners are so good through the middle, if they can pick up wickets through those that middle phase of the game, then coming towards the end, they might have the lower order players batting at the death, which obviously won't be able to get the ball away as easily. So I think from an Afghan point of view, they should really be attacking early and certainly keep attacking through those middle overs, and then you don't have to worry about the death so much. But if it comes down to the death and both teams are in still a pretty good position from a batting point of view, then you're right, it's going to come down to who can execute better at the end.
Any changes to your side that really ran India close in their last game?
I'm not going to make any changes. However, I was giving it a bit of thought. So Hazratullah at the top, I thought he really struggled against India with the extra pace of Bumrah and Shami at the start. So I was thinking, he battled a little bit. Would I bring back Nur Ali Zadran? But I went against that because I thought, well, Bangladesh don't have the searing pace of a Bumrah or a Shami. Their attack is is a good attack, but not as much pace on offer. Perhaps Hazratullah can go out there and just play with his freedom and feel a bit more comfortable against the slower pace, medium paces.
Now, when you look at, of course, what Afghanistan did versus India, the big positive would be how they really kept them down in that total, because India batting first and, of course, Afghanistan getting them out for close to less than 230 speaks volumes for the way they bowled and the approach they used with the ball. Of course, top 5 wicket takers for Afghanistan, Gulabdin Naib with 7 wickets to his name, Rashid Khan 6 matches, 4 wickets. Invariably, I'm sorry, whenever we talk about building up to this game, we have to talk about this guy. But there's one name which is not there, who's probably applying pressure from the other end, and thus these guys are reaping the rewards, and his name is Mujibur Rahman.
Yeah, exactly right. So, yeah, obviously he's not there on the wicket-taking list at the moment. He's come in later on in the tournament, but I think he's done an outstanding job with the new ball for Afghanistan. He's come on, he's kept it tight. He's been able to pick up a couple of key wickets along the way. The ball to get rid of Rohit Sharma was an absolute beauty against India. And so I think Bangladesh need to be ready for that.
Final word with you then for this game. How do you see it panning out? Bangladesh versus Afghanistan.
It will be an exciting match. Afghanistan is a nation who likes to fight and fight hard. Bangladesh has played a very exciting cricket, decent style of cricket in this tournament. Their batting has been outstanding. I would like to see Bangladeshi bowling complementing the batsmen tomorrow. In my thoughts or my belief, it will be a very tough match, but the edges are going to Bangladesh.
Mike, in any sense, Bangladesh, and I know they haven't done it, but they've picked the wrong time to play Afghanistan because the momentum, even though they haven't got the win, that confidence, it's a crazy thing in sport.
Yeah, you're exactly right. This is a real danger game, I think, for Bangladesh. Afghanistan will take a lot of confidence from that game against India. Same ground, so there'll be a familiarity there. Their spinners look like they're getting back into form again, so it's a big one. But I'm still picking Bangladesh to win. I think they have to win. And so they should be desperate. They should put in their best performance. And because, obviously Bangladesh are really pushing hard to make that top 4. So it's a bit of a funny one, isn't it? Like, Bangladesh have to win.
Yeah.
The pressure's on them to win. Afghanistan, well, there's no pressure. They can't make the finals, but they were desperate for a win as well. So for their fans back home. So it's going to be interesting to see how it plays out. But I think Bangladesh should get over the line.
And you started getting your predictions correct as well, courtesy New Zealand. So
yeah, I wouldn't be trusting my predictions, I tell you.
Mike, Hussey, Shahriar Nafees, guys, thank you so much for joining us as we were building up to Afghanistan taking on Bangladesh.
Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and leave your comments in the comment section below. Click on the bell icon for notifications.